Hey there, everybody. Today I have the EMG Nemo Diver. Now, if you're not familiar with these watches, started by three different watch enthusiasts. They came together, they started producing watches, and I believe this is the third model that they have produced. And if you're on Watch, you see this may look familiar as well, as there was an I want to try, I guess I'll just say HKED, Hong Kong Ed, I believe that stands for. And there was a variation that they produced for the Watch Usig forum that had the same case and bracelet, but it has a different dial and a different bezel. This one is readily available from the EMG website. Of course, I'll have a link to that below. $450 Miyota 90S5 automatic movement, which is the no date variation of the 9015. You're looking at a 40 millimeter by 47 lug to lug or length of the case. 13.5 millimeters thick, sapphire crystal with AR coating, 200 meters water resistant. You have a 20 millimeter lug width and the bracelet tapers to 18 millimeters. Beads of rice bracelet that you could see there. And while it may not look like it because of those small hands and markers, they're not, massive thick markers. The lume on this is actually pretty good because it is C3X1 Super Luminova. So $450 is the price. I will have the link below, of course. Let's go ahead and check this one out. Getting up close here, you can see you do have applied markers. You do have a applied logo to the dial, something that not always seen. This yellow, of course, depending on lighting, just like with any dial color, really, everybody's been asking when I've been posting this on social media, well, what color really is the dial? And it is not what I consider to be a pale yellow, but it's not as dark as, say, a taxi cab yellow. I would call this a just very nice lemon yellow color, but it is vibrant. You can see you have that bluish teal there on the chapter ring, giving a nice contrast, and then your red second hand and red Nemo lettering. As I said, 200 meters water resistant. This is, of course, a screw down crown. Unidirectional rotating bezel. That is a ceramic insert now. This is a very tight bezel, but still relatively easy to move, but wherever you put it, it is going to stay there. There is absolutely no play whatsoever. That sapphire crystal is domed. You can see that here. You have a lot of high polish around this case. You can see it is brushed on top. You can see you have high polished sides, including the crown. You do have drilled lug holes to make it easier to change out straps, although personally, I don't know if I would ever take this off the Beads of Rice bracelet. I am a Beads of Rice bracelet fan to begin with, though. Go ahead and give you a look at the dive class. Pretty simple dive class. Flip lock. You have the little push buttons to open it up with your scissor style deployant on the inside. Go ahead and give you a look at this case back here. Let's give you a close-up look as best as possible. As I stated before, the lume on this is really, really, really nice. Here you could take a close-up look. C3X1 Super Luminova glows very nice, even though the hands and markers are relatively thin. That is some strong lume. Here's a look on my 7.5 inch wrist. Now this weighs about 100 and I want to say 38 grams with all the links, and about 133 with 4 links removed. Keep in mind the links are on the small side due to the style of this beads of rice bracelet. This is another one of those watches that I don't really have a lot of complaints about. It's $450. You have a specific no date movement, so it's not just, hey, we took the 9015 and we just didn't include the date wheel or the date disc in the dial, but you still have that going on with the crown. They went with a specific no date movement. It's not really, it's not a homage to anything in particular, though obviously, it is inspired by watches, dive watches of the 60s and 70s with that style of, even the hands of markers, the case, of course, the beads of rice bracelet. It's 40 millimeters, which a lot of guys, hey, there's going to be a lot of guys out there that's way too small for me, but, whether it's the reviews here or Instagram or the different forums or Facebook groups, whatever, there are guys that definitely want a 40 millimeter diver, and this is 40 millimeter by 47 millimeters. So it's going to be a perfect size for a lot of guys, especially if you have a smaller wrist and you like a smaller piece. That 13.5 millimeters in thickness, that includes that very thick domed sapphire crystal. So it's not as chunky as one may think by looking at the specifications on their website, and you could see that in the wrist shot that I showed here as well. And of course, the lume is really fantastic and definitely surprised me. So if you want to pick one of these up, hey, of course, I'm not here to sell you a watch, but if you want to pick one of these up, the link in the description is below. If you want to see my full article at watchreport.com, I hope you do. There will be a lot more pictures and some more thoughts and comments on this piece. I'll have the link down in the description below as well. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please go ahead and do so, and hit that notification bell twice, and that way you never miss any of our content. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It is at Watch Report. This has been a look at the EMG Nemo diver. This has been Don Evans for watchreport.com. Thanks for looking, and I'll talk to you on the next one.